Hello students, in previous lecture we have learned about some initial events of sexual reproduction in flowering plant such as microsporogenesis, megasporogenesis, then development of male gametophyte and development of female gametophyte. Now in this video lecture we will learn about next process of sexual reproduction, that is pollination. Now see what is meant by pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of a flower. Pollen grains are non-motile and they are usually carried from flower to flower by means of external agents. Angiosperms have evolved the strategy to use abiotic agent, that is wind and water, and biotic agents such as birds, insects, snails to their flowers, feeding the visitors and exploiting their mobility for pollination and also for seed dispersal. It is the prerequisite for fertilization because both the male and female gametes are non-motile. Self-pollination is a type of pollination which occur in the same flower or between the two flowers on a single plant. It results in inbreeding or selfing. In contrast, cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of different plant belonging to the same species. Let us see the types of pollination. Depending on the source of pollen, pollination can be divided into three types such as autogamy, geitonogamy, and xenogamy. Now see one by one. Autogamy is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of the same flower. In autogamy, offsprings are genetically identical to their parents. Functionally, it is self-pollination as it does not involve pollinating agents. Some plants such as Viola, Oxalis, and Commelina produce two types of flowers such as casmogamous flower, which are similar to flower of other species with exposed anthers and stigmas. And another type of flower is clistogamous flowers, which do not open at all. In such flowers, anthers and stigma lie close to each other. When anthers dies in the flower bud opens, in the flower bud, pollen grains come in contact with the stigma of and to effect the process of pollination. Thus, clistogamous flowers are invariably autogamous as there is no chance of cross pollen landing on the stigma. Second type is geitonogamy. It is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of another flower of the same plant. It is functionally cross pollination involving a pollinating agent. Genetically, it is similar to autogamy since the pollen grains come from the same plant. Number third is xenogamy. It is a type of cross pollination in which pollen grain of one flower is deposited on the stigma of a flower of different plant belonging to the same species. This is the only type of pollination during which pollination brings genetically different types of pollen grains to the stigma. Now see the agents of pollination. The agents responsible for pollination have been grouped into two main categories. First one is abiotic agents, that includes winds and water, and another type of pollinating agents are biotic agents that include insect, birds, and bats. Now first we focus on abiotic agents. When pollination take place with the help of wind, it is called as anemophilous pollination, or the process is called as anemophily. Adaptations in anemophilous flowers. Anemophilous flower shows following floral adaptations. Flowers are small, inconspicuous, colorless, without nectar and fragrance. Then pollen grains are light in weight, produced in large quantities. Stigma is feathery to trap pollens carried by wind currents. Then stamens are well exposed and with versatile anthers. Examples of anemophilous flowers are jowar, wheat, rice, maize, etc. Second type is hydrophily. When pollination takes place with the help of water, then it is called as hydrophily, and the flowers are called as a hydrophilous flowers. Hydrophilous flower shows following type of adaptations. Flowers are small and inconspicuous. Then floral parts, perianth and pollen grains are unwettable. Flowers are without nectar and fragrance. Common example of hydrophilous flower hydrophily is Vallisneria, Zostera, Ceratophyllum. All are aquatic monocots. Hydrophily is of two types, hypohydrophily and epihydrophily. Pollination occur below the surface of water, then it is called as hypohydrophily. Common example of hypohydrophily is Zostera. Then epihydrophily. When pollination takes place or occurs on the surface of water, it is called as epihydrophily. Common example of epihydrophily is submerged hydrophyte Vallisneria. Look at the diagram. These are the male and female plants. This one is a male plant, this one is a female plant. Male plant produces staminate flowers, whereas female plant produces female flowers. At maturity, male flowers release from the inflorescence of a male plant and reach to the surface of water. At the same time, a gynoecium from female plant exposed at the surface of water, male flowers reach to the gynoecium of female flower and pollination is achieved. Now see the biotic agents. Let us now discuss about entomophily. When pollination takes place with the help of insect, it is called as entomophily. Entomophilous flower shows following floral adaptations. In entomophilous flowers, flowers are large, showy and often brightly colored. Flower produce sweet odor, that is smell, and have nectar glands. The stigma is sticky and pollen grains are spiny. Some plants have special mechanism which is commonly seen in salvia. Look at the diagram showing entomophilous pollination. Second type of biotic agent are birds. When pollination takes place with the help of birds, this is called as ornithophily. Ornithophilous flower shows following type of floral adaptations. In ornithophilous flowers, flowers are brightly colored, large and showy. They secrete profuse and dilute nectar. Then pollen grains are sticky and spinous. Then flowers are without fragrance as birds have poor sense of smell. The diagram shows pollination take place with the help of bird. third type of biotic agent is bat. When pollination takes place with the help of bat, this type of pollination is called as chiropterophily. Chiropteros, Chiropterophilus flower shows following adaptations. Flowers are dull colored with strong fragrance. They secrete abundant nectar. Then flowers produce large amount of edible pollen grains. Common examples of Chiropterophilus flowers are Anthocephalus, Adamsonia, etc. Let us now focus on outbreeding devices, also called as contrivances. Majority of flowering plants produce bisexual flowers and pollen grains are likely to come in contact with the stigma of the same flower. Many plants have mechanisms that discourage or prevent self-pollination and increase genetic diversity. Plants have evolved a wide variety of sexual strategies. Genetic diversity is an essential factor for evolution by natural selection. Continued self-pollination results in inbreeding depression. Thus, flowering plants have developed many outbreeding devices to discourage self-pollination and to encourage cross-pollination. The examples of outbreeding devices are as follows. First outbreeding device is a unisexuality. In unisexuality, the plant bears either male or female flowers. It is also called as dioecium. As flowers are unisexual, self-pollination is not possible. Therefore, plants may be monoecious, example maize, or dioecious, example is papaya or mulberry. Second type of outbreeding device is dichogamy. In dichogamy, anthers and stigmas mature at different times in a bisexual flower so as to prevent self-pollination. It can be further divided into two types, protandry and protogamy. In protandry, androecium matures earlier than the gynoecium. Example is disc floret of sunflower. Whereas in protogamy, gynoecium matures earlier than the androecium. Example of protandry is gloriosa. The next one is prepotency. In prepotency, pollen grains of other flower germinate rapidly over the stigma than the pollen grains from the same flower, which is seen in plant like apple. Next type of contrivances is heterostyly, which is also called as a heteromorphy. In certain plants like primula, common name is primrose, there are two or three types of flowers in which anthers and stigmas are placed at different positions. The condition is called as heteroanthy and heterostyly respectively, so that the pollen grains cannot come in contact with the stigma of the same flower. Next type of contrivances is heterogamy. It is a mechanical device to prevent self-pollination in a bisexual flower. In certain plant, natural physical barrier is present between two sex organs and avoid contact of pollen with the stigma of the same flower. For example, in plant like Calotropis, pentangular stigma is positioned or present above the level of anthers, which is called as pollinia. Then self-incompatibility. It is also called as self-sterility. This is a genetic mechanism due to which the germination of pollen on the stigma of the same flower is inhibited. For example, tobacco, thea. In this plant, self-sterility or self-incompatibility is commonly seen. Let us now focus on pollen-pistil interaction. Pollination does not guarantee the transfer of the right type of pollen, that is compatible pollen of the same species as the stigma. Often pollen of the wrong type, either from other species or from the same plant, that if it is self-compatible, also land on the stigma. The pistil has ability to recognize the pollen whether it is of the right type, that is compatible type, or of the wrong type or the incompatible type. If it is of the right type, the pistil accepts the pollens and promotes the post-pollination events that leads to fertilization. If the pollen is of wrong type, the pistil rejects the pollen by preventing pollen germination on the stigma or the pollen tube growth in the style. The, lab, the ability of the pistil to recognize the pollen followed by its acceptance or rejection is the result of continuous dialogue between pollen grains and the pistil. This dialogue is mediated by chemical components of the pollen interacting with those of the pistil. Following compatible pollination, the pollen grain germinates on the stigma to produce a pollen tube through one of the germ pores. The contents of the pollen grain move into the pollen tube. Pollen tube grows through the tissues of the stigma and style and finally reaches the ovary. In some plants, pollen grains are shed at two cell condition, that is a vegetative cell and another is a generative cell. In such plants, the generative cells divides and form the two male gametes. During the growth of pollen tubes, after reaching the ovary, enters the ovule through the micropyle and then enters one of the synergids through the filiform apparatus. Many recent studies have shown that filiform apparatus present at the micropylar part of the synergids that guides the entry of pollen tube. All these events from pollen deposition on the stigma until pollen tubes enter the ovule are together referred to as pollen pistil interaction. Now see about the artificial hybridization. It is one of the major approaches of crop improvement program, that is crop hybridization. In such crop experiment, it is important to make sure that the desired pollen grains are used for pollination and the stigma is protected from contamination, that is from unwanted pollens. This process is achieved by emasculation and bagging technique. In this way, we have learned about the process of pollination in detail. Thank you.